Welcome to segment 2 of The Brutal Truth. Today's topic was brought about because while on the internet, I noticed several women asking the question, what happened to all the nice guys? This has been an issue of debate for quite some time, and to be honest, men are fed up with it. Ladies, you asked, but you are not going to like the answer. The brutal truth is, you drove them away, cast them aside, and now all you have remaining are the leftovers. Women single-handedly killed the nice guy, and yet they have the audacity to complain that there are no nice guys available to them. Now, before going apeshit insane and start cursing at me for pointing out that fact, let's look at the subject more closely. Any man that has experienced true love only to have his heart pulverized by the woman he thought he would spend the rest of his life with will understand what I'm talking about. In any case, it is important to understand why nice guys finish last and why they probably always will. Contrary to what most women think, there are many men who are interested in successful relationships. When a man truly falls in love, his passion gets the better of him. He will do whatever it takes to treat her right and make her happy. The only problem with being the nice guy is that they become the boring and predictable guy. Women want to be chased and feel the need to be admired by more than just one man. Eventually, the woman starts losing interest, and before you know it, her eyes start to wander. In the end, she'll look for a new man who will bring stimulation back into her life. Pursuit and excitement usually stem from selfish attitudes, much like the bad boy who doesn't care about anyone but himself. The nice guy will be left heartbroken and will start wondering what he did wrong. Shattered and confused, the man is left with no choice but to let the nice guy within him die. Men are not allowed by society's rule to show emotion or wear their heart on their sleeve. He becomes jaded and emotionally closed off. How pathetic. It is true, the grass is not greener on the other side, and until women learn this, they need to be prepared to land in a pile of manure. Do you think I'm making this up as I go? Think back in time. Try really hard and try not to strain your brain. I'm sure somewhere in your databank, hidden in a dusty corner, you will recall the one man that treated you like a princess, adored you, wanted to spend time with you instead of drinking with his buddies, and didn't push you to the side to focus on a career. Do you remember the guy that would go shopping with you, hold your hand in public, truly care about how your day went, and was there for you whenever you needed him? Do you remember the one man that would hold you when you cried, and always told you how beautiful you are? I bet you do. But back then he was nothing more than emotional toilet paper to you. And now, after being subjected to the abusive bad boy asshole, playtime is over. And you wonder where the nice guy is. What happened to the nice guy? The bottom line is, you ignored him. That's what happened. Some women seem to buy into the whole bad boy dating experience. Basically, those guys provide short-term excitement, but turn out to be selfish, arrogant, and only concerned about their own needs. The glamour of the bad boys like James Dean is long gone. Now, the bad boy is true to the name. Walk into any nightclub, and it looks like a social gathering of convicts after a prison break. A loser in most aspects, but he is assertive towards women. He is so because he has nothing to offer, no real future, and needs an advantage over other men. Carefree, with nothing to lose, he is more forceful and very skilled at playing the role of a charming, playful individual at first. Be warned, because for many, it's all an act. Inside the tough exterior lurks a shallow and dangerously narcissistic soul. Women are drawn to the bad boys for many reasons. One might be due to the built-in mothering instinct. It's a known fact that if you take two puppies, one that is healthy and loving, the other is sick or wounded, As a woman, you will instinctively pick the broken one, thinking you can fix him. Once he gets older, he develops a chip on his shoulder. He feels life hasn't been fair to him and eventually starts to bite. As more time passes, he becomes vulnerable to the truth of his lies. As the woman, you become boring to him. He needs a new play toy, so he cheats on you. This happens all the time. We could almost look at this as karma. Remember the nice guy you pushed away? Now you realize that the things that originally attracted you to the bad boy are not the qualities that make for a healthy, long-term relationship. So now you're single again, and after having tried the bar scene for several months, having only encountered players and douchebags, you wonder, what happened to all the nice guys? It's a shame that it took the complete absence of nice guys in a woman's life for her to realize that they miss them, and that is what they truly want. Most women will only have a handful of nice guys stumble into their lives, if that at all. It's been drilled into man's head that the nice guy finishes last. If you look close, advertisements are everywhere making this claim. Websites, articles, and books are dedicated to the subject. Men that were once nice guys are being retrained to think that the only way for them to attract a woman is to change into the bad boy. It makes no sense at all. The bad boy has become a misguided cultural epidemic, and it is you, the woman, who have created these monsters. Not aware of it, women have transformed many nice guys into bad boys. Carl from Arizona writes, I used to be a nice guy. What did it get me? 20 years of my right hand and a fortune in porn. So fuck it. I give up. Women want to be treated like a doormat? Fine then. I'll give them what they want. I may not have the loving relationship I've always dreamed of, but at least I won't be alone. And I'll get laid frequently. Pamela from San Diego replies, This is to the nice guys. Please don't change. Take a close look at the bad boys that are getting the girls right now. They are jerks, scumbags, and look like criminals. It's just a trend at the moment, but it won't last. Besides, do you really want a woman who is attracted to an asshole that shits on them? All the bad boy gets are women that have low morals and are desperate sluts. No respectable woman wants to settle down with a guy in later life whose only success is sleeping with over 50 women. Please don't become a jerk. You will be happier when real love does find you. American women have become the laughingstock of the world. Other countries verbally bash Western women for how shallow and materialistic they have become. The men in America are fed up. Many of them are shying away from Western women and looking outside the country for a mate. It makes us want to grab hold, shake the hell out of you, and scream, "Wake the hell up!" John Anderson writes, It's Western women who worship the bad boys, while they walk all over the nice guys. That is, until they become single moms with kids, broke, and have 10 antibiotic-resistant STDs. So for all you nice guys, forget about these emotionally crippled women. Set goals, work hard, continue to learn, become skilled at cooking, holding good conversation, and live well. Time is on our side because we age like fine wine and women age like milk. There are countless stories of the nice guys being left in ruins by a woman that dumped them for a bad boy. Instead of looking into them, let's look at how this can be changed and hopefully find a middle ground where both men and women will find happiness. The title Nice Guy has a stigma to it. The nice guy is looked down upon as weak and a pushover. In some men that is the case, but in many it is because they honestly love the woman. He adores his lady and puts her on a pedestal. Women claim that is what they want in a man, but they eventually become bored by it. This is where women confuse men. What is it you want? Save us all the heartache and speak up. You may assume we can, but we can't read your minds. Beverly from San Diego writes, I know several nice men who are highly successful, fun, handsome, aren't alcoholics, drug addicts, cheaters, etc., and they have a hard time dating me because the single women want bad boys. It's pretty ridiculous if you ask me. Sports fan gal elaborates, when women say they want a nice guy, it means they don't want an asshole. No woman wants to be treated badly. If they are with a guy who abuses them, then it could be a psychological or codependent issue with the woman, but she didn't set out to find a guy who was a jerk. We want a man who is assertive, someone to take charge, and still be a gentleman. He doesn't have to open the door every single time or buy us flowers every day, but be a well-rounded guy who has other interests, takes care of himself, has a job, a car, and is financially responsible. I have met several guys who started out fine, but they turned into wimps, and that's just as big a turnoff as an asshole. Anonymous writes, speaking as someone who thinks of himself as a nice guy, I'd say part of the problem is that women will often say what they want, but when they find it, they discover it's not what they'd hoped for. For example, a woman will say she wants a man who's confident, but when she meets him, she'll say he's cocky. Or a woman may want a man with a sense of humor, but when she finds one, she'll say he's immature. And with the nice guy, when she finds him, she'll say he's boring. Sure, there are nice guys out there who fit the stereotype, but like everything else in life, we tend to notice the extremes more than the middle. We're more likely to notice the nice guy who's dull and spineless and the bad boy who treats a woman like dirt rather than that person in the middle. If you're serious about finding that nice, confident guy, the first thing you need to do is stop looking in the same places. That kind of guy won't be hanging out at a bar or in the dance clubs. One thing you have to keep in mind is that many nice guys might be a bit jaded because they've seen countless women go for the bad boys. It's true that people take for granted what they think will always be there. Guys do this with nice girls and women do it with nice guys. A lot of nice guys decide to act like jerks, and too often it works in their favor. Personally, I couldn't do it even though I've seen it work. It's just not me. What's disturbing is many men that were once a nice guy came to the conclusion that if he ever wanted a woman like you, he would have to act more like an asshole than he ever wanted to be. As you sit at home alone, don't look for sympathy when you ask what happened to all the nice guys, because it is you that drove them away. Ladies, you really need to take this into consideration before it's too late. Good men do age like a fine wine. The bad boy, on the other hand, how is he going to look in 20 years? The shaved head, goatee, steroid-filled body covered in dozens of hideous tattoos is not going to be so appealing when his metabolism slows down. Not to mention, he is stereotyped, and even if he wants to change for the better, no one will take him serious in the professional world. Go ahead, play with that bad boy for now, but remember, while you are doing so, the nice guy is out there looking for a woman he can adore and spoil with riches beyond imagination. Some may have come to believe that women aren't really attracted to guys who hold doors open, cook dinners, bring them flowers, or buy them that gift that was mentioned in passing. If you don't heed this warning, it is almost certain you will end up alone in the end. Tom writes, what happened to the nice guys, you ask? We got married and living happily ever after with our wives. What is left can best be described as a cum stain on the sheets. Jared writes, some women think they have magical vaginas. They feel they will be the one to tame the bad boy and get him to be a nice guy. This usually results in tears, failure, and blaming anyone but themselves. Polly sends, these dumb chicks get abused mentally, physically, financially, and sexually by the bad boys they crave, and then when they get beaten, dumped, or left for broke. They sit with their girlfriends and cry about it, and then they wonder where are the nice guys. The fact that the girl chose the bad boy always seems to get lost in the details. What is even more disturbing is they will go back for more. Well, ladies, next time you wonder what happened to the nice guys, you may want to consider modifying your own behavior. If not, you'll wind up without love and a twat the size of a trash can. Take note, girls. This is why nice guys are so rare. We either become jerks like the majority of guys, or they are like me. They stop caring and actually stop dating completely. This is for both men and women. Don't give up hope just yet. The bad boy era will eventually come to an end. At one time, the bad boy was appealing as a rebel. He was exciting because there were so few of them, but now society is saturated with them. Women love what they can't have, and the nice guy has become the rarity. Unfortunately, for those men in their 20s, you may have to wait 10 years for women to grow up and realize that they want a real man. In the meantime, go out and have some fun. Continue educating yourself, become worldly and successful. A nice guy revolt has already begun by those not willing to succumb to becoming less of a man. Nice guy clothing lines are surfacing, and nice guy websites are popping up out of nowhere. You ladies out there need to pull your head out of your ass. The nice guy is going to be in great demand, and they may not be available when you finally decide you've had enough of being abused, cheated on, and take it for granted. Nice guys may very well all be scooped up and happily married. I decided to take this challenge on myself. I am physically attractive. I have a strong build and carry myself with confidence. My past has been filled with excitement, and I have met seemingly impossible goals. The bad boy was part of my past, but not as it is portrayed nowadays. These guys don't know what bad really is. Try being a co-creator of one of the most evil heavy metal bands in history. I've seen things that would make today's bad boy piss in his pants. My problem is, I am the nice guy inside. I am a true romantic. I'm passionate about what interests me, and I put my woman above all else. I have no problem attracting the good-hearted, wholesome woman, the right woman, but I am going to test my theory to see if I can widen the range. To begin this test, I went to the same nightclub 2 weeks in a row. In a short amount of time, I was able to get the attention of several attractive, nice girls. We had a good time and engaged in polite and flirtatious conversation. When I approached the cream of the crop, the most beautiful women, I was brushed off in a short amount of time. When it comes to clothes, I believe in independence and class, so I needed to purchase a few outfits that match what every other drone on the market is wearing. To prepare for the transformation, I grew a goatee and enlisted an artist friend of mine to airbrush dozens of tattoos on my arm. My attire consisted of long black baggy shorts, a t-shirt that I cut the sleeves off of, and a baseball cap turned backwards. Having long hair, I pulled it back into a ponytail and tucked it under the hat. I returned to the same nightclub. This time, instead of a vehicle, I rode my Harley there and parked it at the entrance. Before going in, I had to mentally prepare for the act and become the arrogant, aggressive, carefree individual. I had to loosen up, so I went straight to the bar, did a shot of tequila, and ordered a beer. I scanned the room for my target. I picked out the most beautiful woman in the room that just happened to be one that I approached 2 weeks ago and was unsuccessful with. She had a nice-looking young man sitting next to her, but I could tell she was not interested. I approached her and placed myself between the two. I used my body as a wall to cock-block the man, faced her, and struck up a conversation. I was arrogant and witty in dialogue, but careful not to cross over into being an asshole. It took less than 40 minutes before I had her hook, line, and sinker, and was able to get her to offer up her phone number. I excused myself and told her I had to go outside to make a phone call and would return. Before I did, I leaned in and got her to kiss me without hesitation. Outside in the parking lot was a van waiting for me so I could change into my normal attire. A crew was waiting to remove the airbrush tattoos, shave the goatee off, and restyle my hair. I re-entered the nightclub and found her waiting where I left her. Quietly, I walked up and sat back down next to her. She turned to me and said, "I'm sorry, but this seat is taken." I looked her directly in the eyes, and she seemed confused. She didn't recognize me at first, and then it hit. Looking me up and down, all she could say was, "What the fuck?" Having dropped the act, I explained to her what just took place. I asked, "Do you remember me from 2 weeks ago?" She looked me over again and replied, "Now I do." I asked, "So why was it when I approached you before, you were polite but blew me off?" She had to think about it for a moment before explaining, "Well, you seemed kind of quiet, and to be honest, you looked really together and kind of out of my league." This proved my theory, but raised even more questions. What it all boils down to is women want a man who is exciting, good-hearted, trustworthy, and most important, one they can think long-term with. There's so much residue built up on the term nice guy. Let's throw it out the window and clear the slate. What women really desire is the good guy. The good guy is a man that is honest, kind-hearted, assertive, and confident. This man is passionate about everything that interests him and can meet a woman on an emotional level. A bad boy exudes untamed masculinity, independence, and confidence. To women, these traits are an aphrodisiac. So take them from him and combine them with your kind nature. A man has to be able to court a woman, amuse her, and excite her while continuously remaining a challenge. One key element here is sex. Another women reason are attracted to the bad boy. He is masculine and portrays sexual confidence. Once again, you can beat him at the game. The bad boy is confident to the point of being arrogant. This is his weakness. He is more concerned about his own needs when it comes to sex rather than the woman's. A man who takes control in bed is a turn-on to women, so use that to your advantage. One thing you have over them is a brain. Learn as much as you can about how to sexually please a woman. There are many great instructors out there. One I would recommend is Jason Julius. Study technique, experiment, and find what works best for you. Work on the skills it takes to stimulate a woman emotionally and sexually at the same time. Once you can accomplish that, the two of you will be left in a hot, wet, exhausted, satisfied mess. Do this, and the word boring will never be used in the same sentence as good guy. Men need to learn the true skills how to attract a woman. You can beat the bad boy at his own game. The bad boy is pretty much a lost cause by nature, so for the nice guy, this is not a hard task to accomplish. You already have the foundation for greatness. Basically, it all has to do with self-confidence and being assertive. Women are not actually attracted to the abusive, mean, negative part of the bad boy personality. These jackasses just happen to possess some attractive qualities to them. Women are drawn in by the unpredictability, uncontrollability, and dominance of the bad boy. It's a challenge that is so tempting and powerful, women are blinded to the abuse. The good guy can develop these traits just through knowledge and confidence. Be secure in yourself. Focus on goals and a direction. Be decisive when decisions are needed, and go after what you want. The trick is to learn to take the bad boy's negative traits and spin them in a positive direction. Once you can do this, the bad boy will be put back in the gutter where he belongs. The good guy in the traditional sense is a nice guy at heart, minus the wimpy, pushover stigma, and has some of the better characteristics of the bad boy. In a simple term, he is the best of both worlds. Somehow we have to find a way to love a woman, but not be consumed by that love. That is a hard task, because for many of us men, we want to love, cherish, adore, and spoil the woman that captivates our heart. Well, that's all for this episode, and I hope some of you will listen and learn. You will be better off in the long run. If you have a topic you'd like to hear, shoot me an email at stephenkcraig@aol.com, and I will attack it and verbally destroy the perpetrator. To hear more, I invite you to visit me at my website, www.ghostofarose.com. As always, learn to love, because love is all we need.